October 1st, 2009, I was going to the Tennis Club of Albuquerque for a lesson with Ocho. And we started hitting right at 9 o'clock for about 15 minutes. And we were practicing forehands, backhands, net game, so on and so forth. And about 15-20 minutes into it, he asked me to hit some serves.
So we were at the baseline. He was warming up serve, had a bucket of balls between us, and he was about on his third to fifth serve.
And I walked back to the back line and just keeled over.
I didn't know what to do, so I ran into the pro shop and had them call 911.
I looked over and I saw Van laying on his back in the pros court and some people gathered around. So I asked anybody, we were playing in a foursome, I asked anybody there if they were a doctor, and no, there wasn't. So I ran over and I checked his, got straddle of him, I checked his airway and checked his, tried to get a heartbeat, and I could barely hear a heartbeat. His nose was turning blue, his lips were turning blue, and his ears were turning blue on the edges. So I started compression, and as I continued with that, I saw his lips starting to take color, his nose and his ears.
You know, Warren was just pumping away on my chest. The EMTs had a AED with them, and they were able to get my heart started. And then they put me in the ambulance and took me over to the University Hospital.
They called from the tennis club and they said, "Oh, Van has collapsed." And I was like, well, he didn't eat much breakfast this morning and he probably, you know, just fainted. And so then we hung up, and a few minutes later she called me back and she said, "No, he's really collapsed and the EMTs are on the way." And so I thought very quickly, and I was like, well, the only person to call, my first call was John Abrams, longtime cardiologist here at UNMH. And John had recently retired and was a very, very close friend, Van's tennis partner for 35 years. And my memory of it is John was just like, look, just sign the paper and he needs to go to the cath lab. Don't worry about anything, any other test.
Van came in with a ST elevation MI, the most serious kind of myocardial infarction. He had an abnormal electrical heart rhythm which caused his heart to stop, and that was a result of a 99% blockage of his artery that goes to the side of his heart. When he came to us, he was already resuscitated at the tennis court. So his heart was beating, but it clearly needed more evaluation and treatment by our catheterization lab.
We performed 2 procedures during that hospitalization. He came in and had a tight stenosis of a branch off the left artery, and a few days later we also put a second stent in another artery.
The next thing I remember is on Friday morning about 4 o'clock, waking up, and I looked down and I had a gown on. And I went crazy. I said, you know, what in the hell am I doing with this gown on? And my wife said, "You had a heart attack." And I said, "There's no way. You know, I am in good health, I exercise, I eat well, you know, all of those things." And she said, "You had a heart attack."
The amazing thing about Van's story is that he had a perfect chain of care, from the tennis court to resuscitation and CPR to defibrillation, which is electrical shock to bring his heart back to normal rhythm out in the field, and then immediate care here at the University of New Mexico to open his artery.
I felt so helpless after this happened to Van that the club actually does host a CPR course, so the first one they had, I signed up.
CPR is extremely important. There's no way I'd be here today without the CPR.
I think it's worth everybody to learn to do this, especially now. It's so easy to do. You don't have to do the breathing and just get right with it. And I'm sure it saves many lives.
A side note to this is my mom and dad, before they passed away, gave me a little medallion. It was a guardian angel, so I just moved away and let everybody work and was rubbing and praying away. And anyway, Van made it, so I gave him that little medallion because it was his guardian angel.
You know, what has happened is that I've been given a second chance. So after 5 years, I am extremely happy. And I know there's something out there that I'm supposed to do, so I'm looking for that every day.